much longer is this?
I don't know. By the way, have you seen Jason?
No, thank God.
Oh. Jason?
Hey guys,
What the fuck?
what are you guys watching? Is this the same movie about German porn and the history of it?
Yeah. How did you get here?
Teleported.
We've been able to leave this whole time?
No. I can't teleport outside of the house just from here to the bathroom and back. Just help. You guys know I go a lot. You make fun of me for it. So.
Did you figure this out? Is it like...
You can't do it?
I guess I've never...
Oh, hold on. I don't think I flushed. I think it
Again.
would really smell strongly of broccoli, so give me. Yup, definitely didn't flush.
This is your brother.
MaJaMa. MaJaMa. MaJaMa.
I have things to show you, powers beyond your comprehension. Come.
Welcome back, everyone, to our couch for another exciting edition of MaJaMa Jams. As usual, I am Jason. This is Mateo. This is Matthew. That's Mort, and that's Chumley. And we are here today delving into the time of yore, the age of yore, the olden golden times of the original Marvel, now in an age of what many would say is an oversaturation of the MCU. We're going back a couple decades to the 70s for where it all started on the screen. Of course, the comics was their own thing. But today we are going into Doctor Strange, which is not just how a caveman expresses his fear that his doctor is a little peculiar, but is also the title of a movie from 1978. Now,
A TV movie.
a TV movie from 1978, around the same era as Incredible Hulk and Amazing Spider-Man. Now, Mateo, you were doing a little bit of research before. These were all encompassed around the same 2-3 years, you'd say?
Pretty much, yes. The Incredible Hulk, the pilot was in 77, and the series followed from 78 to 82, I think. Spider-Man was 77 as well. For some reason in Europe, the pilot was not broadcast on television, but was put into movie theaters.
How disappointing.
Yes.
Jesus.
Yes, a lot. But it lasted also the TV show, I think that it was 13 episodes or something like that. Then they just like...
Then again, I guess nowadays being able to go to the theater and watch that Spider-Man pilot would be pretty fucking awesome.
Probably yes.
Everything looks great with the retro glasses on.
And Doctor Strange was supposed to be
Interesting.
the pilot of a TV show. They broadcasted apparently against a rerun of Roots, and it tanked spectacularly. So it came and went with this one escapade as Doctor Strange, which is the longest origin story. And then, or origin story. Where does the accent goes? Origin?
Origin. Ice cream?
So basically, Doctor Strange is a horrifically slow-moving, boring piece of shit that makes you realize just how great the MCU is. Fuck you people that think it's formulaic trash. I enjoy myself every time. I hate all of you, and this proves why. Let's get into it, guys. Matthew, you stoic son of a bitch, guess what? It's getting passed to you because we have a triple blind today, so the Italian's not doing it, and I like torturing with you, and I did it for Earth -0 when I wanted you to do it and you threw it back to me. And also you retain a lot more comprehension skills and I kind of struggled to keep my ADD in check. So
Can I start? Jesus!
Don't worry, in 5 seconds he'll interrupt you. So
I would never do something like that. So anyway.
Going back to what you were saying, it's slow as fuck and nothing happens and the origin story is an origin story of nothing. But it's not horrible in terms of...
That's true. It's not a...
So they in this version of Doctor Strange, they derail from the traditional origin story and have him as a doctor who has some sort of predestined future to become Doctor Strange. His father passes down...
Coincidentally, His name is Strange.
Yes, it just fits too well.
Just the yes.
His father passes down a ring to him with the same emblem that's on the sanctum. He starts getting psychically followed by the old sorcerer who's about to pass on and wants to pass on his power to a new younger sorcerer,
Piers Morgan.
Pierce Morgan, Marley
Matlin.
Marley Matlin. Morgan Le Fay is our antagonist, who we believe is talking to Dormammu.
Yeah, that was my question. We start off right off the bat with a pretty awesome, for the time, image of our...
I was shocked that they went straight into...
It was great, right?
That imagery.
Yeah.
Especially just the floating rock formation, craters, ethereal plane, whatever the fuck you call them. Very much ripped straight from the comics. I was very surprised they went straight for that angle as opposed to kind of dumbing it down and making it more...
In fairness, that is, of course, a garden variety technique to start with a tantalizing scene, drop right in, then pull back and get to the story.
Still, for a TV movie, I'm impressed they actually went with the idea of like a free-floating...
Oh, you didn't think they did just do that type of character at all? Because you're right, the rest of it is not as fantastical in any way, shape, or form.
Yes.
Although I will say, I did actually enjoy the astral projection travel. For the effects. For the effects of the time, I thought it was fun and effective.
So he is psychically connected with a girl who Morgan possesses to grab the old man and push him over a ledge.
Which we get replayed about, what, 6 times?
Yes, for comedy.
Were you in an accident?
No. There was an old man. A woman pushed him over a railing in front of a car.
Not only that, but in one of the shots, you see...
One of the shots? They fucking like, pull back! Don't fucking show that!
No, but besides that, when they show it mostly from below the bridge, falling down, where you can definitely tell that it's not him.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
But from the shot from the side, the building in the background, you see all the people there watching the stunt being filmed.
Oh my god. Maybe they were all psychically bonded?
Probably they were all...
That was, the subtext was that, everyone.
So, this lady Clea is now psychically connected to Morgan, the older sorcerer, and Strange. But we don't know if that was just because Morgan randomly chose a girl or if she had a predestined fate as well.
It looks like very at random. It looks like that she arrives and the first woman she sees, it's...
But that's not how... Because interestingly enough, I sometimes, often, shall we say, faltering in my Marvel nerd knowledge, did not know about Clea's appearance at the end of the new one. So, is she traditionally just or sorceress, or you don't know either?
I don't know too much about her. No.
Okay.
I know she's a love interest, and I know she's a sorceress, but I doubt that's how her. Plus, they completely derailed from Strange. His car accident damaging his hands, seeking out an alternative to medicine, and finding the Ancient One to teach him the mystic arts. In this one, he just has a ring.
Yeah.
Finds this old guy.
And what's your origin story? Got a ring.
So, Clea is admitted to the hospital and doesn't want to go to sleep because she's worried Morgan's going to possess her again.
Because she realizes that she appears in her dreams.
Yeah, you guys are thinking of A Nightmare on Elm Street.
Please, God.
This is God.
Strange, once again, is bonded to her, so tries to help her as much as he can. Eventually, she goes into a coma-like state, and Strange has to seek out the sorcerer to help him enter the place with the Technicolor swirling vortex. 2001. He goes and saves her soul, and then brings her back to her body.
What are you doing? Trying to save your soul?
And there's a couple cool glimpses of demon creatures, but you don't really get a full-on shot.
No.
But they tried.
The one where the cat rises into a larger
Yes.
item. That was pretty cool,
I thought it was actually pretty creepy, but then they instantly just cut to her face with the glowing eyes. I'm like, oh no, you actually had the really creepy aesthetic of just this black cat just like growing in size and
nicely
length.
done.
Then Strange, for some reason, even after going astral projecting and going through that vortex, he says, "I don't believe in this," and wants to leave,
Yes.
which I was kind of confused by.
It's the same way I exited Sunday school.
He accidentally lets Morgan in the house when she's transformed into a cat. She then fights with Wong, which takes a second, and they just both glow with some weird static electricity. She goes and fights the sorcerer and traps him in the other world. Strange then finds out about it somehow. Oh, she visits him. So she goes with the Strange when he's about to go on a date with Clea, says, hey, come with me.
Yes.
I'll give you everything you want. She tries to give him money, power, fame.
And she's being threatened with taking her youth away.
Yes, she's failed a couple times now, so
Yes.
her mama is threatening to take away her youth. But she's still got a pretty full head of hair.
Oh yeah,
Would have,
she's rocking it.
Why wouldn't she just have gotten creatively bald and liver spots?
Yeah.
Either way, she tries to seduce Strange. I swore to God she was about to go down on him.
Yes.
For a
It
second,
looks like.
whoa, what? And then they both get into bed together. I'm like, oh, okay. So then
That's what the MCU needs.
she tries to get Strange to take his ring off, which I guess will release him from being able to take on the power. He says he won't take it off. She fights with him and says you don't know anything, but he's just naturally gifted with his latent talents and is able to just conjure magic automatically. Fights her off, gets the sorcerer, brings him back to our world, and the sorcerer reveals it was a trick the whole time to make Morgan believe she had conquered him, to lure Strange into accepting his ultimate destiny and taking over as the new Sorcerer Supreme. Eventually they transfer power to Strange. He gets a new cloak, which I was really excited to kind of see him in the classic outfit.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay, it's just purple with the fucking gold cape. And then they had elements in both costumes of his actual costume from the outfit Morgan gives him and the outfit he gets afterwards. I thought it was going to fucking end after the transmutation scene, and then it just keeps going, and he's going on a walk, and they have the same conversation with Clea that he had before the first date.
Yes, I thought
But I
I
think
literally had
that's
deja vu.
because-
I was like, what, did this skip? What?
Because on their date, she gets possessed and induced
Or
into
she
it.
forgot about it.
Yeah,
or
so she
something, yeah.
doesn't remember what happened. They start their relationship. Wong is telling him that the sorcerer's not dead, but they're going to be there to help instruct him still. And Strange goes and
Makes a
fucks with the street magician,
yes.
and makes a bird come out of his
Asshole.
yes.
Watch closely, as from this handkerchief I will produce a beautiful bouquet of flowers.
Everything is open for the show to begin, and the show never began. The end.
Having said all that, nothing really happens. Having said all that, in terms of a just everyday life discovering your origin, it's not bad. It's just slow and nothing happens.
Yes.
Well, here's the main thing I was thinking is that I couldn't believe it when the credits popped up because I was waiting for something to happen, and while obviously there's a bunch of idiocy to comparing modern, massive, mega-budgeted tentpoles where they've discovered how to do things with CGI to a 1978 made-for-TV movie, I understand it's a little ludicrous to compare, but I just kept thinking for all the shit talking about, oh my God, we're leading up to the giant CGI blowout. Oh, then we get to the third act CGI blowout. Oh, you always talk about that.
Don't you remember when he fell on the ground and then shot some kind of yellow static light at Morgan and then left and...
But like there was no. It's almost like when you talk about canned laughter on sitcoms, the idea is that the audience knows when to laugh, which sounds so condescending and insulting and awful. And yet, when I watched this, I was almost like, where is the super, like, you build towards something, you know, you learn your powers, you get this, and then the villain learns their powers, and you crescendo towards this, and...
Yeah, you should have taken this, squashed into a half hour, and then do the rest of him as a superhero on some sort of quest.
Now it begins.
It's like you have all these books about the hero's journey, about how every plot is essentially the same, so when you sit down to write a movie, it's like, well, there are certain building blocks. That felt like this here, where it's like, again, it wasn't bad, and there were elements I like, and for what it wasn't horrible, but it felt like nothing happened.
I mean, don't forget that this was going to be a TV show, and it was the 70s, and when the Hulk, you got Hulk once, maybe twice if you're lucky.
Dr. Banner himself has... David? David, is that you?
I always was kind of intrigued by the idea of, and of course now everything's CGI, but when you see those magazines that are about the bodybuilder lifestyle, and you get the guys that genuinely look like the Hulk, it would have been...
Read those?
It would have been interesting to...
all right.
It would have been interesting to see one of those guys painted green like Ferrigno.
Bet you would love that.
You'd like that, wouldn't you? You pansy? Alone in the room with your limp wrist just whacking off.
And even if you look at something like modern day superhero show that's on network TV, like The Flash, it's like 20 fucking something episodes in that season. There's gonna be a lot of fucking boring everyday life, alter ego stuff as opposed to superhero stuff.
Like, look at the opening shot, like we talked about, the demon character, who I don't think they say the name,
They don't.
but we're assuming might be Dormammu. They didn't do a bad job of creating these atmospheres, these otherworldly places. Like I said, I did like the astral projection traveling, simple as it was, of its time as it was. So I think you could have built to more of a sorcerer battle. I just can't, like that the credits popped up and I was like, what the fuck, how was that the end? Like,
I was fucking happy to see those things pop up.
it was a little boring, but nothing happened. You're right, dude. There was no...
I think that there is also one thing to be considered is that in 1978, those were pretty much the rhythm of television in terms of these TV shows or movie of the week, whatever you want to call them. So this one is very well distinct with the fact that, yes, it starts by saying, hey, this is not your average movie of the week. There is something supernatural or something otherworldly that we're going to talk about. And then it goes into your classic, I don't want to say General Hospital or Grand Hotel drama, kind of like almost soap opera-ish.
But they did a decent job, even though they have him interested in Clea. I actually thought they did a decent job of not... We don't get too much of the have to have the two of them meeting cute and dating,
yes.
You know?
Yeah. Doctor, I think you better get down to ER. I've got a Jane Doe for you.
I felt like it was
very
nicely
natural and just
dispersed.
very, oh, you're cute, I like you, let's...
Yeah, it
let's
wasn't
meet
like
up.
heavy-handed, like, and we have to shoehorn in the traditional love story, and they have
no,
to get to the point.
It's
at least thought it was doled out nice.
The story.
Plus you want to build it over the series.
Right,
I mean,
exactly, yes.
Okay, so that's probably fair. We need to take it, like you said, we need to take into the fact that this was supposed to be the kickoff. So it's almost like Empire Strikes Back, where you have to take it as it was built to have more following it.
Yes, it's like the whole story is set up to get put in motion by the TV show. So there are a lot of loose ends or open ending, whatever.
So it's almost unfair to try and view this as a singular entity because it was never intended to tie up all the...
Yeah, I mean, in theory...
Should we stop talking about it?
Yes.
Just cut the cameras. Well, you know, these superhero movies are very much like monster movies in that a large part of the discussion is the ratio. How many scenes you have to put up with to get to the little bit of fighting. I know the, the Flash with King Shark versus Gorilla Grodd. is kick-ass, but it's like 2 minutes because they can, on the TV budget, they can only do so much. There's a big shark fighting a big ape. And it's pretty cool, but it has to be so quick because of budget. But it just...
Is it like the wonderful fight in Ape?
Nothing is like the wonderful
Wow.
fighting ape.
That is a great comparison.
No.
Peter Hooton is not unappealing. I think he actually... I didn't know this because, like I said, as much of a nerd as I am and as much as obsessed over the MCU as we are, I actually didn't know going into the movie back 5 or so years ago. I didn't know he was a cocky, arrogant, slick type. And for doing that here, like I said, he's not without his energy. And even though I made the joke that they asked him to play it like it's perpetually the moment when the acid is kicking in with his...
Very wide-eyed.
Bug-eyed. I do think he had a nice...
DSLs?
He was... What's up?
Got some DSL?
What does that stand for? As much as I think this is pretty damn boring, I thought he was good as the lead. I thought he had a nice cockiness to him, and I thought that there was an appropriate...
I like that the first time you see him, he is already arrogant and cocky with the nurse.
Yes.
It's pretty much his first, as he blurted out.
We introduced right away to
Yes, and so it's always, how I feel. I take it very personal. And this kind of experiences, if I can't connect with an actor with a character rather, in the first 3 or 4 minutes, or if they rub me wrong.
That's true. That's a big thing with you right, over the years.
Yes.
That should be a cut discussion in itself.
I am the original protagonist of The Grudge. Because I can't, if somebody...
I mean, that's always the basic framework of movies is that, yes, you're supposed to be with them. But beyond that, I have noticed that something that intrigues me is that you are very much like, if you get a sour taste, you are like, I cannot. And even you, who's so respectful, and like, let's give it a chance, let's see him. You're like, I can't. You lost me. I didn't like your character.
It's something because
can't move forward.
I'm about to invest on the average 90 minutes or 2 hours with somebody, and if I don't like him or her or them or whatever it is, I say, oh my God. That was the, I'm sorry, I like him as a person. I hated the character of Wolverine.
Really?
I went to see the first X-Men, not knowing anything about the X-Men.
Strong words going on here.
Yes. And I say, oh my God, I'm stuck with this guy. And I genuinely suffer through the whole movie.
This is the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Because of his character?
Yes. No, I love Hugh Jackman. I think that he's fantastic. He knows also how to be incredibly funny. And I hated that character.
Well, what's interesting about that is that it's kind of... and even, I know there are...
I know you have questions.
I know there are comic book fans out there that would put my middling, I don't know if both of those make sense, knowledge to shame.
Tiddlywinks.
Tiddlywinks. But when you grow up like we did, it's almost like you have that intrinsic in your gut love for Wolvie. And it makes me think of, we can appreciate the Laurel and Hardys and other stuff, and Mateo almost grew up having them more. And then it's like, hey, look at these characters, as opposed to like we walk into their, just like, oh my God, it's Wolverine on the screen. You didn't have too much exposure to comics in general. You said more your brothers read a little bit of it?
Not really.
No one did?
Mostly Mickey.
Okay.
There was the whole Disney word, yes.
But Marvel made it to Italy, right? You just went
Marvel made it, but mostly it was...
Did they ever make it back out, though?
There was Spider-Man, the Fantastic Four, the Hulk, and Thor. Those were the 4 main... we were so ignorant in terms of comic books that when Batman in 1989 came about, the biggest draw was the soundtrack of Prince. Because we knew Prince, and we liked Prince. But in terms of Batman, you say, yeah...
Even with the 66 show?
With the 66... Because, as the stupid mentality of Italy, that was a kid show. So it was always at 5 p.m. in the afternoon. The adults didn't see it, so they had no idea what it was.
What you say? Sono Batman.
When Dick Tracy came out, there was what was that? Nobody had any idea. And again, the draw was Madonna, and the soundtrack.
She was in that?
Yep.
Is that so?
It's interesting. You don't think to, like, as having being friends with Matteo, we'll talk about like, oh, you know, the Italian culture, growing up Italian. This you
You're
don't.
friends with Matteo?
Yeah, well, I'm just.
Jesus, man, you're on
Take
camera.
that back immediately.
You're on camera.
For convenience, so I have access to the DVD collection.
Okay, can't fault you for that.
But you don't think too much about being an American, but saying when you hear that.
Wait, what were you talking about?
I was gonna say it's weird to hear that Batman came out. We were really only excited about Prince, just because I almost feel like we were indoctrinated, like to love Like I can't picture Batman coming out or Ghostbusters coming out or these things coming out and not liking it. And it's weird because it almost makes me think, hearing someone's different experience, that you really are like, oh, I was raised Catholic,
Well,
I was raised Christian, I was raised Batman, I was raised Ghostbusters.
Don't forget, at the age we were, I was 4 when Batman came out. You were 7, so that means from very early on, Batman was. I mean, at that point, he was already a cultural staple, but even huger after the movie came out, of course.
Oh.
Matteo has to have a story. I mean, this is going to sound funny because I feel like I'm turning on the thing I love so much.
To go to
like,
sleep, you mean?
Matteo has to have a story to be able to go to sleep at night. That's why I have to read it to him. Matteo has to have a well-done movie, and then it's like, oh, this movie is really good. I can get into the superhero characters. And I'm not saying this to say it's crap and we're just morons that love it and eat it up, but like I feel like sometimes the reason we get so giddy with the MCU is because not only were we basically raised on it, but it reminds us of us playing with the action figures and stuff. So it's almost like, you know what I'm trying to say? That's what I find interesting.
Yeah, dumb base level nostalgia. Yes, I do.
You know, have you ever thought about the fact that Hollywood is making millions off these movies just because they're playing on our nostalgia, because my generation never wanted to truly escape childhood? No, but what I mean is that it's interesting. I think it's an interesting discussion as we delve into the superheroes that if you didn't have...
Did you start making this point like a half hour ago?
So anyway, 60 minutes ago when he mentioned Hugh Jackman, I don't know, I feel like it's kind of the central point to discussing superhero movies, especially when we're...
Well, I think it comes from him not like... the thing is that I've always had the question of, even if a character is intentionally supposed to be a certain way, you still will dislike them if there's... if a character is supposed to be intentionally dickish or aloof...
You have trouble with dicks.
You still will dislike them.
In every way, but yes.
But yeah, you have a who's a dick? I could actually name one like Tony Stark. I mean, most people feel this way, so it's not a unique thing to say, but that's a dickish guy done well.
Yes. Anything that Bill Murray does.
Sure, that's probably that's the gold standard. Yes.
Yes. There has still to be something to draw me into, and it's just like it's something. It's me. It's a defect. One of the many of me. I cannot.
Is it because you've had to deal with too many real life assholes?
Probably. Yes.
Probably. It's just too many real douchebags. That's like, I don't need to see this.
Because growing up in Italy, everybody you meet is exactly like that, and so I really genuinely say, oh God, listen, I don't want to watch a movie with somebody like that.
It's funny how you can say anything when it's your own people. Like, imagine if I was like, man, growing up around the block.
Lipstick on your cheek. And I can smell her perfume. It's not very expensive perfume.
That's because I gave it to her.
You weren't turned off from our protagonist in this case?
No.
Okay.
He won me over.
Okay. Matthew, what did you think about the casting of Strange?
Surprisingly, I liked him.
Yeah. No, I think I did too, actually. I feel like I said in the beginning, I think he had good energy, and I
think if he had more to play with, he would have been great. And I think this could have been a great show, especially for the late 70s with Satanic Panic, the occult, and all the other
at the beginning
elements.
Everything felt very satanic.
I thought you could have done a lot with this series, but I don't think they delved into it. Well, like we said, they didn't do anything enough to warrant another show. But I think you could have done a lot with the series.
Yes, even if he has nothing much to do with it, he puts an effort. He doesn't sleepwalk through the movie.
Yeah.
Nobody does.
No.
Actually, it's very nice, and I knew him only from I have to say this is my most ignorant past from Orca.
You goddamn crazy bitch, come back and rhyme us if you're gonna.
Oh, here, take it easy, take it easy. You're doing exactly what he wants you to do. You see, he normally follows his victim for about a week, 2 weeks, before he hits him. Here, read it, page 77. He's trying to drive us crazy.
Well, he's already done a damn good job on you.
And instead, Clea, who retired from the scenes eventually, she was in Sledgehammer.
Oh, the show we like?
Yep.
I heard a shot.
Duro, that was excessively violent and completely unnecessary. I loved it. It was poetry in motion.
Thank you. I was top of my class in hand-to-hand combat.
And she was the wife of Michael Crichton as well as the co-writer of Twister.
Oh.
Was the wife meaning the divorced?
Yes.
Okay, I thought he had a biopic.
I believe he divorced a few years before he passed away. I don't think that she is...
At that point, just write it out.
Yeah.
No, I wanted to enjoy those last years.
Hi.
How do you feel today?
Fine.
Mr. Burns, call extension 3.
Are you sure?
You know who I liked a lot?
The magician at the end?
Was Wong. I like the casting of Wong. I thought he had a great classic,
very cute and mild mannered.
Yeah, very what is it, Watson or not the sidekick or the apprentice.
Careful.
That type of energy, very respectful of the master, very helpful, competent on his own.
Careful.
Hey, he calls him master in the movie. Get the fuck up. But yes, I liked his casting a lot. Even he had a very classy look to him with the suits and the little pencil staff.
Yes.
And sadly, he falls into the realm of, what's his face? Because you've seen him anywhere, everywhere, and his being in everything. And I've always genuinely liked him, and I'm very embarrassed that I can't tell his name now. So
he's not even listed on the back of the box?
No.
It's like fucking 2 characters.
I know.
Have I become the sorcerer?
You will be, when the Ancient One has taught you how to use your powers.
This mortal, Stephen Strange, is the one chosen by Linda to succeed him. Thrice you had the opportunity to slay him, and thrice you stayed your hand. Why, Morgan?
I commanded Belzeroth to bring him to me. It was he who failed.
Do not lie to me, woman. Why have you spared him?
I am still a woman.
You think of Spidey and the Hulk as very huge pillars of American comic book culture, but it's interesting that back in the day they put Strange up to be the next possible one for a show. I wonder if he was always one of the more, again, as nerdy as I am with it, a lot of times I don't have the
series
full-on...
took off pretty well, and it was very different from most traditional superheroes.
Wait, I'm sorry, the...
Doctor Strange comic book series.
Oh, that was my question, is how if he was more popular than I realized. Like, was to get a TV show when you were only doing 1 or 2 seems kind of impressive. And I think even watching this, but especially the new Stranges, he does seem to embody a lot of what you think of with a comic book property: the mysticism, the world traveling, the supernatural, the different worlds, whether it be the amazing city bending in on itself of the first Strange, the Benedict one, or this new one with the, traveling through the different dimensions. It's very conducive towards probably what you want this out of a movie.
Spirit fingers?
They were all very weird cuttlefish.
What did you do to him?
Altered the heartbeat and the respiration.
When did Marvel movies start? Mid-90s? There's a big gap with trying to...
Oddly enough, yes, it's true, but this...
2000 is X-Men.
After 2000 and X-Men was kind of kicked off the...
is the same year of Superman, the movie.
Excuse me. That's a bad outfit.
Comparable, in my opinion.
What are the...
Yes, but I have
Blade was mid-90s, right? Late 90s?
Yes, Blade I think was 98.
98 sounds right.
Yes, I was already here, so yes.
So I'm intrigued by the gap here between, okay, we got Spidey, we got Hulk, and we got Doctor Strange vying for TV series, and then nothing in the 80s, really? Am I wrong? I must be wrong here.
Well, the 80s, it was Superman.
I'm saying as far as Marvel trying to switch mediums into...
They had
Marvel.
a lot of attempts with Punisher, Corman's Fantastic Four.
In the 80s, though?
Yeah, Captain America.
Wait, there's an 80s Punisher?
Is in the 90s already.
No, he's right. I think not like literally 1990.
Okay.
As it crossed over. But it's just intriguing for heroes that always seem to have been iconic and well loved.
I remember
that there's this gap until they became omnipresent like they were now.
Call me a rational man, I am. I want to stay that way.
So,
So,
we've done the strange.
Yes. So
why don't we conjure up a rating? Matthew, let's start with you. What'd you think of the old?
Was it worth not writing?
What did you think it was worth not writing to watch the 1978 Doctor
What do you mean not
Strange
writing?
with Toby Hooper? Tom
we were
Hindle?
supposed to write that script.
We were trying to write the script, the follow-up to Bad CGI Sharks, our first movie, available on Tubi for free.
Oh God! What was the question?
The question was your rating for Doctor Strange.
There's a lot of factors going into this one.
Pretty boring in retrospect.
Yes. Oh my God, there's a staple in this piece of paper.
Oh.
There's two staples.
The one that I was looking for.
Is there anything written on it? Don't tell me it says tits again.
Nope, just says staples.
Okay.
I'm going to protect these inside, aka hide them within the ball of paper. And give this a 4.
You squeezed the staple.
It's fine. I thought it had merit. I thought it had decent characters.
Which character was merit?
If we weren't waiting for action, fight scenes, mysticism, monsters, creatures.
Well, Doctor Strange, mysticism, and monsters would be great for the next movie.
Would have still been boring as fuck, but
have faith in your judgment.
I'm gonna give it a 4.
Okay.
It was charming. And Doctor Strange had a weird 70s gay porn
charm,
handsomeness to him.
Yeah.
And had very nice lips.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to agree with that.
I was actually thinking of the exact same rating. I liked seeing the history of Marvel. I genuinely didn't know about this one until Mateo said it was coming out. But yeah, other than the little flashes of it, the demon in the beginning, nice practical effects.
They use him a lot, though.
The
You get
cat,
to see him a lot.
Yeah, that's true. More than you would think you would.
Yeah.
The cat eye rising thing, the little bit of astral projection, the little bit of sorcery, pleasant characters. Like I said, the casting of Wong was nice, and Strange himself had a nice little 70s charisma, nice way to put it. I'm going to agree with your rating just because, despite all that, I was very bored, and again, obviously a huge gap between the CGI tentpoles of now with Mega Millions and a 1978 made-for-TV movie, but I don't know, I really felt like nothing happened at all.
Was a very long origin
Not
story
without
where you don't
its
explain
its merits, not without its fun to watch this history, but I am matching Matthew's 1, 2, 3, 4, because yeah, it didn't. It was kind of boring. Mateo.
Yep. Yeah, I think that I will do exactly as you did with one.
Is this our first?
We've never triple matched.
No, we never. We did it with one.
Did we?
Yes, I don't remember who was.
Might be wrong.
No, I know it because I checked it recently.
Okay.
And pretty much I'm with you. Even if I grew up in that era, I wonder if had I seen it back then, would have I liked it or not? I'm very curious because I still remember there was for instance, a TV show called Belphegor, The Ghost of the Louvre, which was a TV show in 6 episodes of this supposed ghost that was terrifying people in the Louvre. And I remember it terrified me as a kid. And so when it came out on VHS, I bought it instantly. And it was one of the most boring things that I wanted to put just like a fox snare in my testicle and turn it just like to keep myself awake. But the main difference is that since I have to edit this thing, I will throw my 4 balls all at once. So I just do one insert of the basket, and it's much better and faster.
4 balls at once sounds like scout camp.
I can do it.
Because we played a lot of... Go ahead and throw it.
Thank you. All 4 in. How do I do it? I don't know.
Impressive.
I know.
MaJaMa.
You know, it's interesting that...
Shut the fuck up, man. It's probably not.
A bit.
Well, that was not so marvelous of a time.
Just tell them we're going to go.
Thanks for watching. Yeah. You know, we really appreciate your viewership. And if you like what you see, click the subscribe button. There's new episodes every Thursday with us, your pals, hanging out, having a couple laughs, discussing movies, and overall just having a great time.
There's no one there.
Yeah.
In the room or behind the screen.
Conrad.
Scout.
Spectre.
Mom.
Our mom.
Oh.
Their mom. Mine isn't because she doesn't understand English.
And our dad thinks this is a boring, unwatchable piece of shit.
Oh, he's not wrong.
All right, we're done, guys.
Entirely wrong.
We love you very much.
Yes.
MaJaMa.
Alexa, put a timer in 18 minutes, please.
18 minutes, starting now.
Maybe a more iconic bathtub.
Okay, so Matteo, circling back, what I wanted to ask before we went into that huge deep dive into Jackman and Dix.
That's good.
Okay. Oh, yeah, huge.
I'm not sure how to help you with that.
Shut up, we're filming, you filthy little electronic cunt. Circling back to the original point, when you were introduced to Strange...
It may stay in, because it's too funny.
Oh, Alexa?
Yes.
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, God.
When we were introduced to our Strange...